Welcome back to the Everygirl podcast. My voice is still recovering from Camp Everygirl and also my energy levels, my spirit. Okay. It was just the most magical weekend to all the Everygirls that were at camp. It was truly a dream come true to meet so many of you and hear how you like the podcast and what episodes resonate with you. Honest to God, it was the dream of my lifetime. So thank you for such a fun weekend. Guys, also something I didn't talk about Tuesday was rip Diane Keaton. I am truly devastated. Like the world is just a little bit worse off. Diane Keaton has always been one of my favorite people in the world. If you haven't read her memoirs, you should. They're so interesting. They're so funny. They're so her unique personality. She also looks just like my mom, which makes it so weird and kind of sometimes acts like my mom too. But I have always loved watching interviews with her because even just herself, like not even when she's acting in all of her incredible roles that are so comforting and warm and incredible and emotional, like even just who she is in interviews and stuff is such a good example of how we should all take life a little less seriously. Like if you see her in any interview she's ever done, also if you've seen that video going viral of her at a Ralph Lauren fashion show and she's just like having the time of her life. She's making herself laugh rather than everyone else, at a fashion show that is so serious and just sitting there trying to look cool. She's just such a great example of not taking yourself too seriously, remembering that life is meant to be fun and enjoyed and silly and quirky and goofy. And she's just a great example of how we all should live. So Tuesday, I was so exhausted that I didn't think of anything except the episode at hand. Now I have to shout out our queen. Diane Keaton is such an every girl, honestly. She was the OG every girl, if you will. So she will be missed. I'm really sad about it. I don't know how else to wrap it up, but really sad time for us all. We miss you, Diane. All right, I guess those are my updates. Today's topic, what we're diving into today, is going to debunk some very common wellness myths because we are talking about the metabolism. So I got a listener question about how to know whether or not your metabolism is healthy and how to improve your metabolism health, so your metabolic health. I am so glad this listener asked this question because it is so misunderstood since it's very connected with weight and your metabolism is really a key to weight loss, but people really misuse and misunderstand this topic. So, what I wanted to do today is really break down what actually matters for a healthy metabolism so we can hopefully bust a lot of myths and help you understand your body so much better. Your metabolism can dictate how you feel in your body, whether your body knows to gain or lose weight, how much energy you have, how clear your skin is, how well your hormones are functioning, how good your digestion is, and even how happy you feel. Like it can literally impact your mood as well. So, whether you've been struggling with low energy, brain fog, stubborn weight, hormonal chaos, or you're just trying to feel better in your body and mind, understanding how to support your metabolism is essential. So let's start with what even is your metabolism. Metabolism is the process your body uses to turn food into energy. Every time you eat, your body goes to work breaking it down and converting it into fuel. Not just so you can, hit the gym or go on a walk, but so that you can literally function. Like you need fuel to breathe, to think, to sleep, to heal, keep your heart beating, keep your hormones functioning. Even blinking takes metabolic energy. So when we say supporting your metabolism or metabolic health, we're not just talking about weight loss, we're talking about how to help your body thrive. The metabolism is a little hard to explain because it's not just one system or organ, but more of a series of processes. So think about your metabolism like a company, like a team of employees that keeps everything running. And like any successful business, it has departments, okay? Your hormones are like the HR department. They manage communication between systems. They tell your body when to burn energy, when to store it, when to build muscle, when to rest. If your hormones are out of balance, the whole system gets mixed signals and starts functioning inefficiently. This is another huge reason I talk a lot about hormonal health. Your gut is like the finance department. It is breaking down and budgeting every calorie and nutrient that you eat, deciding where it goes, what gets stored, what gets burned, what gets detoxed. Digestion and gut health is crucial for your whole metabolic budget or the total amount of energy your body has to spend each day to keep you alive and functioning. So, just like with money, your body decides how to spend that energy on things like digestion, hormone production, brain function, and movement. If your gut health is off, it is likely mismanaging your finances, your metabolic budget. Your body cannot allocate energy properly, which leads to inefficiencies in how it burns fuel, stores fat, or supports other systems. And then the thyroid is like the operations team that basically controls and sets the tone for the rest of the company. It's literally your metabolic thermostat. It sets the rate for how fast or slow everything in your body works. When it's underactive, everything slows down. That means energy, digestion, and even your mood. So, your metabolism impacts your energy levels because the rate in which your body converts food into steady energy can keep you energized or make you feel sluggish, which is the reason it also impacts mood and mental clarity. Everything from PMS to PCOS to fertility is also impacted by metabolic health because when your metabolism isn't supported, your body often starts pulling resources away from reproduction, repair, hormone balance, because it's trying to survive, not thrive. Your body kind of goes into survival mode, which means we just have to survive. It's not time to, technically, biologically speaking, like get pregnant and have a baby. The body knows it's also not time to put in resources into your hair and nails and skin because if your metabolism is sluggish or slow, your body pulls resources away from skin, hair, nails to use for vital functioning, like keeping your heartbeat going and your lungs breathing. And then your metabolism can also support your body's ability to fight inflammation and heal. If you're always getting sick or taking forever to recover from workouts or struggling with chronic low grade inflammation, poor metabolic health might be at the root. Of course, talk to your doctor about metabolic health because it's different for everybody. But common symptoms of poor metabolic health is if you're constantly tired, even with enough sleep, if you feel cold all the time, if you're gaining weight or you can't lose it, even though you're eating a good amount of protein and fiber and moving regularly, if you have painful or irregular periods, if you have brain fog, if you feel dizzy or irritable, if you go too long without eating, like literally, hunger could be a sign of metabolic dysfunction. If you're not hungry in the morning, that might be a sign of your metabolic health because you want your metabolism to kind of speed up as you wake up in the morning. And also, if you just feel puffy or inflamed or not like yourself, if your body doesn't feel good, your metabolism probably doesn't feel supported. Now, I want to debunk some of the common myths because the metabolism has been used to fearmonger and market products. You'll see a random influencer pushing a metabolism booster, like a tea or supplement, promising to rev your metabolism in 7 days, like it's a car engine you just forgot to turn on. The word metabolism gets thrown around like a marketing buzzword because it taps into something that we've been conditioned to fear, which is the idea that if we don't control it, we will gain weight, we'll feel sluggish, or we will fall behind in some invisible health race. Brands know this. They use it to sell everything from fat burning pills to collagen powders to $200 detox kits. Half of the time, I swear, the product doesn't even explain what it's doing. They just know that if they slap the word metabolism on the label, we will associate it with control, thinness, or worthiness. The wellness industry figured out that metabolism is the perfect scare tactic because it sounds very scientific. It's also hard to define, and most people don't really understand how it works. So we're left feeling confused, like we're doing something wrong, and like we constantly need to buy or fix something just to get the metabolism right. So let's bust some myths because I want you guys to not fall for that marketing and to feel connected to and confident in your body so you know how to support it rather than falling victim to all of the fear mongering and marketing tactics. The biggest myth that I see is that eat less, move more is the key to a fast metabolism, aka the way to lose weight is just to eat less calories or calorie restrict and work out more. No matter what people on TikTok say, this is not true. Your body is not a calculator. It is a living, breathing organism with hormones, stress responses, and survival instincts. If you chronically undereat and overexercise, your metabolism gets slower, not faster, which means it will store fat instead of burn it. Because your body thinks food is scarce and energy is limited, so it goes into conservation mode. It starts burning fewer calories just to keep you alive. That's why if you actually eat a lot less calories and you work out more, you will start noticing differences first in your hair and skin because your body is pulling from those non essential resources. And you may even hold on to weight and gain more the second you start eating more calories because your metabolism is so smart. It knows to slow down when it thinks you're in starvation mode. So, being in a severe deficit can seriously mess with your metabolism. Your body doesn't know you're dieting for a wedding or a vacation, it thinks you're in a famine. This can lead to hormonal imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, burnout, and weight regain. Sustainable fat loss, if that's your goal, comes from supporting your metabolism, not suppressing it. And that might mean eating more, not less, especially if you've been undereating for years. So, no, eating like a bird and killing yourself on a treadmill is not going to help your metabolism, it's going to tank it. Another myth is that your metabolism is just doomed after age 30. I hear all the time people saying that their metabolism got slower or worse with age. That's actually not true either. The metabolism doesn't just tank because you turned 30 or 35 or 40. What actually happens is that we tend to lose muscle mass as we get older, our stress levels go up, and then we move less. So it's not actually age, it's the habits that change with age, which we have control over. And probably the thing that you hear most common, the biggest myth that I want to bust, is that you should speed up your metabolism. Like you'll see supplements that promise to speed up your metabolism, which, by the way, your metabolism only responds to consistency. There is literally no such thing as a quick fix or a magic potion that can improve your metabolism. But that phrase of speeding up your metabolism is kind of misleading. Your metabolism isn't like a volume knob that you just turn up by drinking green tea or taking apple cider vinegar shots. It is way more complex and smarter than that. What people actually mean when they say speed up your metabolism is really to increase your metabolic rate. You want to burn energy more efficiently, you want to have more stable energy and fewer crashes, you want to be able to maintain a healthy weight while still eating foods and living your life, and to feel better, to feel lighter, clearer, stronger. But, and this is the key, faster isn't always better. The goal isn't to have the metabolism of a, teenage boy who eats 5,000 calories a day and still loses weight. That level of burn might sound maybe ideal when you love dessert or mac and cheese and you're trying to fit into your high school pair of jeans, but that also comes with trade-offs. Hypermetabolism, when your metabolism is too fast, you're burning too much fuel, can mean muscle wasting, nutrient depletion, and faster aging. Because your metabolism isn't just about fat burning, it's your body's total energy system. So if it's running in overdrive all the time, that can also mean faster cell turnover, higher inflammation, and more oxidative stress, which is the stuff that accelerates aging and disease. So, no, we don't actually want a super fast metabolism that's revved up 24/7. The end all be all goal is not actually to keep speeding up your metabolism. We want a resilient, adaptive, and efficient metabolism. So, we really shouldn't be saying we need a faster metabolism or to speed up our metabolism, but more like we want a balanced metabolism or a healthy metabolism. So, how do you improve metabolic health for better fat burn, to feel energized, and to help your hormones and gut health? So, first thing, building lean muscle. Your muscle tissue burns more energy than fat tissue. So, the more muscle you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate, meaning that you are burning more calories doing nothing. So, in other words, even when you're watching Netflix on the couch, your muscles are burning more energy compared to fat tissue. So, more muscle equals better metabolic health. You don't have to get super into heavy lifting if that's intimidating to you, although more power to you. But we're talking, a few strength training sessions a week, whether that's dumbbells, resistance bands, Pilates, body weight workouts, anything that challenges your muscles. The next step is to improve your metabolic flexibility. So, metabolic flexibility means your body can easily switch between burning carbs and burning fat, depending on what's available. And that's what we want. A metabolically flexible body doesn't crash when you skip a meal or go longer between snacks. It doesn't rely on sugar spikes to function or get hangry just because you haven't had food in a few hours. So, how do you improve that flexibility? It's simple stuff, you guys. The balanced meals with protein, healthy fats, fiber, and slow digesting carbs. It's avoiding constant snacking or grazing, especially on highly processed or high sugar foods. It's practicing gentle intermittent fasting if it works for your body, just something like 12 hours between dinner and breakfast, and then not skipping meals all day, getting in those consistent sources of nutrients. And then it's, getting some movement in before or after eating to help your body become more efficient with energy. The next step for your metabolic health is to eat enough food for real. If you are under eating, if you're skipping meals, if you're living on low calorie girl dinners, again, your body thinks you're in a famine. And when it thinks food is scarce, it will start to slow down everything, your energy, your digestion, your hormone production, even your mood, so that it can survive. So when you fully nourish your body, when you eat enough protein, fiber, healthy fats, phytonutrients, your body's like, okay, we're safe. We've got what we need. Let's burn energy, balance hormones, and thrive. And then the last really important tip is to manage your stress. This might be the most overlooked metabolic strategy of all. But if your stress levels are constantly high, your nervous system flips into survival mode and slows down your metabolism as a way to conserve resources. This is what I want everyone to hear. So come closer, turn this up. Your body doesn't hold on to fat because it's trying to sabotage you. It holds on to fat because it's trying to protect you. It thinks you're in danger. And your body interprets stress as a survival threat. And by the way, that includes doing a high intensity workout when you're drained or not eating enough food. These are stressors on the body too. It doesn't know that you're just skipping lunch to get through meetings or doing another HIIT class to be good. Your body thinks you're in danger. So to help you survive, your body slows down your metabolism and starts conserving energy by storing fat. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do to keep you alive. So when you create a safe, nourished, rested environment, your metabolism responds. It really is that simple. Those are seriously the only tips you need to know that will make the biggest difference for your metabolic health and therefore help you get to and sustain a healthy weight so much easier. It will improve your energy and your mood, get rid of brain fog, and overall feel as amazing as possible. I know nothing I shared here is super profound, but that's kind of the point. The biggest takeaway I want you to get from this episode is that your metabolism adapts to your environment, not a pill or a powder or one single ingredient. So if you are under eating, overstressing, not sleeping, over exercising, it slows things down to protect you. But if you fuel your body, if you build muscle, if you manage stress, if you prioritize rest, your body says, okay, cool. I'm safe to burn energy, build hormones, heal, thrive. I promise you, these basics will make the greatest difference for you. I personally feel like it's a waste of time for you if I sat here and went through all the different, you hear like the drink green tea and try this supplement. And like, yes, there are things that can maybe move the needle, like 0.5 to 1%. They're a waste of time and they're a waste of your money. Okay. Honestly, focus on these things I just listed. Get really good at them. Make your body feel really safe in its environment. And I swear to you, that will be well worth your time, energy, money. That will give you the greatest difference. So far above and beyond any supplement or food or whatever it is that could help you individually. So that is Metabolism 101, basically. I hope that cleared a lot up for you and will help you heal any symptoms that you may be experiencing. If there is any other health topic you want me to do a deep dive on like this, or any other questions you have for me that you want me to answer on air, it can be asking advice about any topic or personal questions or whatever, however I can support you. You can DM us at the Everygirl podcast on Instagram and I will answer your question, always anonymously, of course, on air. Have an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you on Tuesday for a fascinating and honestly shocking episode that will teach you the psychology of how we choose our life partners. Have a great weekend, Everygirls. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I sure did. please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really makes a huge difference for our show so we can keep growing and bringing the content that you love. If you want more info, you can find us at the Everygirl Podcast on Instagram or at theeverygirlpodcast.com. Talk to you next week.